Hey. Ow! Hi, everyone, and welcome to World's Best Dad Podcast.
He's acting, Cap.
I'm Christian.
Hi, Jimmy.
And we have an incredible guest with us today.
Extremely
Someone
incredible.
who's unbelievably, we could consider a friend, which to me is like
you.
Legend of legends.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Ladies
Legend
and
of
gentlemen,
legends.
Steve
Mr.
Caballero.
Steve Caballero.
Mr. Steve Caballero.
Hi guys.
Steve.
Hi, Steve.
This is a super big honor for us to have you on the show.
Your work in the 1987 Thrasher at the Raging Waters ramp, where you, no offense to Christian, but you took him out in the high air contest. And as a kid, that blew my mind.
You're not me, Christian. Hosoi.
No. Come on.
You're talking about the real Christian.
Christian Hosoi. Yeah. Because I was a Hosoi dude.
Yeah.
You know, I had a few dudes who were my idols, and you taking them out to me as a little kid was crazy. Because I was like, no one can go high as Christian.
It wasn't so much a takeout.
11 feet. 11 feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, he was hurt at that contest, so he actually didn't ride that contest.
He didn't get to try.
He didn't get to try.
Okay.
But he was there witnessing it because there's a photo that Bryce Knight shot that shows Christian looking up, going like, I wish I could go that high.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Christian. I know you can.
Amazing.
We're gonna have him on here to counter that. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's really hard to put into words from kids from our generation that are, you know, a little younger than you. I mean, just barely. Like we're only a couple of years younger than you, but the impact.
Christian might be older than you.
The impact that you and, you know, the Bones Brigade and Stacy and Tony and Lance,
even Hosoi, Neil Blender,
that generation had such a crazy impact on our lives, which I know that it's weird.
It's stupid.
It's hard for me to I'm not trying to gush all over you, but it's pretty unreal. And so
you get something on your lip.
It might be some
gum.
Might be some gum. I had some gum earlier.
I have gum.
Anyway, welcome to the
We're
show.
Gumming right
Welcome
now.
to the show.
People
We're going to
are
talk
listening
about
and
all kinds of
going nuts
stuff
and hating
because Steve is not only a dad, 3 wonderful children, right? But you're also now.
Oh yeah, you're a
granddad.
Granddad.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which is
I
really...
aspire to be that one day. Like I want my kids. My kids are too young. Hopefully.
How old is your kids?
My daughter's 12 and my son is 14.
Okay.
So yeah, they shouldn't be.
It goes fast though. My daughter's 20, so
I'd love to be a grandpa one day.
I like being grandpa. I wish I could see my grandson more,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately we live like 8 hours apart.
Does she live up north?
They live in Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah, so
where is Auburn?
near Sacramento.
Okay.
So I get to see him once in a while, and then he has split custody with the dad and the mom. So the more and more he gets older, I think the more and more my daughter Kayla will be able to bring him down south. And I just saw him actually a couple months ago, and we had a great time. And he did his first ollie.
Oh, no way!
I was just gonna say, how old is he? And
how old is
he?
He's about 5.
Oh, that's
Wow.
crazy.
He's 5 already.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, time
And-
goes by so fast.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Just seemed like 5 years ago he was a baby.
But
happens.
it's weird because
especially when we get older, time flies as well.
It's just like
I feel like I just turned 50, and I'm 55.
Yeah.
So every decade goes quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, it needs to slow down a bit.
It does. It's not like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's not like we're getting busier and busier, but time just keeps going.
It stops for no one.
Right. It's weird when you're a little kid and you wake up in the morning and you don't even think about the end of the day because everything is just kind of unfolding as you go, and then wow, it was a whole day, or I have to wait an hour for something, or you're sitting in class waiting for the clock to. You know, but now you wake up and it's like, wait, it's 2:00 in the afternoon already.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that you wake up at that point, but things go by so fast.
If you do.
Anyway, I wish I could wake up.
That's true.
I try to make my day, busy, so it's filled with things that are, interesting and fun to do, and that's what I do for a living, is just entertain people.
Right. So that is a great question. As a dad and as a man of your status, like we know you obviously skate and you mountain bike, you ride motocross.
You're very busy.
You're busy. You do lots of stuff, but to provide and bring home the bacon for the kids,
Yeah.
what's your main
Or vegan
activities?
bacon for some of
Oh,
those
yeah,
out
vegan
there,
bacon.
guys. Sorry, Ed.
Sorry, it was a term
Jeez,
of
Christian.
endearment.
Ed's crying right
Well,
now.
Sorry.
Since 1980, skateboarding has been my profession.
Yeah.
And then over the years, you know, I've been able to travel and win money through competitions and sell endorsements, and got the signature shoe from Vans in 1989. And with all that, and you know, traveling and competitions and stuff, I've built a career that people are inspired by, and I get to endorse products, and so I make my income by putting my name on products what people buy, and then I get a royalty from.
Right.
Through all that, I've been in bands where I played music and done shows and made money that way, and just until recently, I decided I want to be an artist.
Yeah.
So in 2005, I got really serious about painting and drawing and doing shows with all the skaters, and
So scartist?
a scartist.
Okay.
Is that a
Yes.
term? Is that really
Yeah, that's
a term?
a skate artist, a scartist. Because I was going
Because
to
if you read
say
it wrong, it could be one of those ska
a
bands.
skanker.
You gotta be
Skanker?
careful. You
Yeah,
gotta be careful.
Well, I was going to say maybe a scartist because I don't see a beret on your head, so it's not a real
That's true.
artist. No offense.
But we're gonna get
That's a
into
But-
French artist.
Yeah,
We're gonna
but those
get
are
into
real
enough
artists.
We're gonna get into
Like,
cab fashion though at some point.
Yes, we are,
We're
because
gonna
I have
talk
some
about
fun
the beret.
stories.
There is a beret.
Yeah, I've had a beret
Yeah.
before, but I wasn't an
Ah.
artist then.
Yeah,
This was
that's
late
right.
80s
I was
then,
a
right?
skater.
Yeah.
That was mid '80s.
Was that suspenders cap?
That was
With the
suspended.
plaid shorts?
around that
Yes.
time?
I had a friend, my friend Steve Dershinsky, had a mean ho-ho, and he was a cab clone. It was beautiful. He
Oh,
had the suspenders. He had everything. He always had
You
your
had the
board.
bleached hair.
He had everything. It was beautiful.
I'm bringing the
Yeah.
80s back.
So
bro.
let's talk
that,
about
look at
let's
that.
talk about that, okay?
What?
First time
80s?
I
banks.
ever met you in person. First time I met you, it was during your blonde phase when you had kind of the blonde wave.
Yeah.
And it was at a demo. So my parents got divorced, and my dad was living in Utah, and you did a demo, and I went and visited him one summer, and you did a demo in Ogden, Utah, and I got a ride out to go see Steve Caballero at
Yeah.
a demo, and it was the lamest demo, but I mean, you did great. Don't get me wrong.
Was it vert or street?
No, it was like just a jump ramp on a really terrible like sidewalk, and you would there was 200 kids lining the sidewalk, and you would just do tricks off the jump ramp.
Was it full Bones Brigade or just cab?
It was just Caballero. Yeah,
Oh.
it was just Steve.
Yeah, I think it was.
And I had you sign a picture.
Did
I was
they
gonna bring
supply
it. I was gonna
Yeah.
bring it. It was
We'll put the
Hawaiian
picture
Islands
right there.
Creations
Yep,
era. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
So
Oh, yeah.
86,
You remember this
80,
little dumb face?
No.
no, no, 80, 85 or 86, and I was
Yeah.
so pumped. I was like, oh my gosh, Steve Caballero.
That's funny.
yes. You know,
We
so-
actually did a tour in the 80s with a jump ramp on top of a station wagon. And that was a Powell Peralta tour where we just drive across country with a jump ramp.
just a
With
jump
right
just
ramp.
a
out there.
jump ramp and loaded with the team?
This could have been that same era because it was Powell Hawaiian Islands Creations Independent was on the.
Okay.
We'll show the autograph
He
because
still has it.
I broke it out so that we could show it in the interview. I also had my faction record ready. Anyway,
Fan, big fan.
I'm
Anyways,
big
big
fan.
fan,
Anyway,
big
you
fan.
have lots of big
Yeah.
fans.
So now art has been able to be a profession for me.
Yeah, that's
that's
cool.
rad.
I've been doing a lot of collaborations with huge companies,
Mm-hmm.
motocross and motorcycles and you name it. Like
Yeah, I've seen your socks
and toys,
and stuff.
right?
toys and
Oh, yeah.
socks,
Doing
and
designing
helmets,
toys and
BMX bikes. Like, it's been great, and it's just another outlet for me to express myself and to get better at something and just experience my full potential in that. So, like, I have art night tonight. It's Tuesday night.
right.
Yeah, so-
I will say, and this is not a slight at all. It's totally a.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
But
Get ready.
But
Get your
as-
car keys ready.
As a kid, there were guys that were doing the skate art thing, like Neil and Lance to a certain
Gons.
extent, and
Gons, yeah.
Gons and
Templeton.
Ed.
This
and,
was pre-Ed, though, doing art, like we're talking, right? 80s?
yeah, the 80s. But Ed was, he came in off the back
His
of
is
that.
the very end of the 80s.
But
I
I'll
guess.
say when you started doing art, it didn't, for us, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it's been 15, 20 years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But
15 years.
That's crazy.
I'll say from you saying hey, I'm doing art now to where you're at, it seemed like it was it didn't take you 10 years to get great at it. Like
Yeah.
you were good at it really, really fast. So did you always do art and stuff?
I did. I always did art from school and doodling but
Because I remember some grip tape art that you did back in the days, but it wasn't as like elaborate as like Mark's or Neil's or anything like
no,
that.
man,
But
I struggled when I first, quote unquote, tried to be an artiste. I struggled with how do you do that?
right.
What does it take? Like, what's the process? Because I'm always trying to figure things out. I'm like,
So you're like an overthinker. No
I am.
offense, but like analyze
Definitely.
everything, or you can't
Analyze
get
it.
started on it.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's how I've learned to be successful with things. Is I overthink it and try to analyze it and go like, but I couldn't figure it out.
That's how you got that 11-foot air.
No,
Well-
I was like, why is that guy's art popular?
Yeah.
More popular than this art, and this art looks like this art took way longer to do than that art.
Yeah.
But that's popular because it's just popular.
I'm going to tell you something. Art's an opinion.
Exactly.
Art's an opinion.
Hey, and
guys.
if you, if
and
you
hey,
have the
guess
right
what?
opinion,
We talked
it's
about this.
fact.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna approach art like I approach skateboarding,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna go all in and learn everything about it and try to learn every medium, and maybe something will come out of it.
Mhm.
And what I've learned is like, I think people just accept the fact that I did it
Yeah.
is help sell it. Just like when we started the faction, people didn't know about our band, but because I was in it,
Yeah.
professional skateboarder for a bunch of years, Steve Caballero was in a punk band. People wanted to see
Gave
the
you a
band,
little
even though
edge,
they
yeah.
didn't even know what the music sounded
Totally.
like.
Right. But
That's-
there's some classics in your band. Come on, like Let's Go Get Cokes.
Well, we eventually got better.
You guys were.
That's true.
We had, that's
Cokes
a
was
great
a
one.
NorCal thing, by the way.
Yeah,
It
Cokes,
was.
yeah.
Because
Cokes and
Pepsi
Snickers.
was the hit down here because the Gons was into Pepsi. He would
Oh,
drop
really?
Pepsi on his board and stuff. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Gons was a Pepsi guy.
And
Yeah,
so
he was a Pepsi guy.
suicidal tendencies as well.
Yeah.
Hey.
All they wanted was a Pepsi.
I gave him some Pepsis. I gave Mike Muir some Pepsis
And
at
she
a trade
didn't
show
give it to
once.
him.
Yeah. But I gave him some.
Yeah,
You
there's a
did.
picture
Yeah.
of
We'll
Jimmy.
put the photo here.
Yeah.
So this is,
Is
a
that
few
why you
years
guys
ago.
are friends now?
Yeah.
Me and Mike?
Yeah.
We're not friends.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have him on the podcast.
But yeah,
though.
we would love to have
Yeah,
him.
we're
on the
gonna have
podcast.
him.
But
There's
a few years ago at a trade show, I knew it was there. So on my way to the trade show, I bought a 12-pack of Pepsi. And I went kind of out of my way to like go by that Dogtown booth before I was going to where I was supposed to go. And he was there and I was
Yeah.
like, yes. And I went up to him and was like, hey, what's up, Mike? I got you something. And he's like, hey, what's up, man? And I handed him the Pepsis and he
Yeah.
just started laughing. And we got a nice photo.
I went to a show where he was backstage, and I saw him drinking a Diet Coke.
Whoa.
Well,
Was it a bummer? Like that was like
I was like, dude,
everything.
really?
Oh,
Can I
man.
take a photo?
yeah. Your brand has been Pepsi since the early 80s. Yeah.
Your
But
mom
that
was
could
gonna
be
be
some-
stoked.
That could
Pepsi
be
call.
some-
You're off the team.
That could be some unresolved like anger towards his mom though. Like I'll show you, you never got me a Pepsi. I'm
Right.
not gonna drink it anymore. Right?
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go
See?
Diet Coke because you
Right.
know you get
Like,
bigger and you got to get down.
Muscular,
I'm
more
on a
muscular.
diet.
Yeah, me too. We are
Yeah.
all on
I
diets.
got
Yeah.
COVID 15 overweight pounds overweight right now.
Yeah, we all got a little bit of that
So-
COVID
Hey.
weight.
hey,
Well, Jimmy had it a little
Jeez.
before, but
I'm just a full-figured male,
It
Christian.
happens, it
Okay,
happens.
Big
deal
bone.
with it.
Big
my,
bone.
My
Big,
opinion.
yeah,
is-
see, I'm big bone.
Big
yeah.
bone.
Hey, big bones, big heart. My opinion.
Yes.
And big
Fact.
butt. And big butt. Yeah. No offense.
So
Small
You,
feet.
so you grew up in Northern California skating. I think your story. A lot of people know your story. Some people don't know your story.
Yeah.
But like, as far as like your family relationship goes, I heard that you have brothers and sisters, right?
Yes.
But-
I have 3 brothers,
Mhm.
older, and an older sister.
And you're
But
the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
You were the baby.
I'm the baby.
Mhm.
But because of the age gap, I always felt like I was an only child.
Right.
Oh, so they're that much older than you?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would just hang out with buddies around the neighborhood.
So how old is the next oldest in
5
your
years
family?
older.
5 years older, and that's a pretty big gap,
It goes
especially
5 and
especially
then like 7.
They're already
8,
out of high school.
Yeah.
10
Right.
and then 12. Like
right. Do you? I'm sure you keep in touch with them. at
keep in touch
times.
with them.
Yeah.
You know, holidays, Christmases, and obviously we've done a couple Zoom meetings with them.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
they all around still up north, or
yes,
where are they?
all up north.
What were any of your other siblings into similar things like music or art or skateboarding or
Motocross.
athletics?
Yeah.
I'm the
Anything?
only creative one in the family.
Suspenders.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all like accountants.
Printer. My dad was a printer, so 2 of them ended up taking up that trade.
Okay.
One's
like
an
a screen
engineer.
Like
printer?
offset
What do you mean?
printing or
Printing, offset printing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister is a lawyer now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And she worked her way up to working for a lawyer firm. And so one's in computer.
My friend Mitch
computer
McDeer's a
engineer.
lawyer too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in Mississippi when he was
Oh yeah.
trying to do law, and it turns out the whole law firm was run by the mafia. And
Wow.
the FBI tracked him down and he had to cut a deal with him.
What movie is that?
The Firm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little fun
Never heard
fact.
that story.
Yeah. Mitch McDeer, Tom Cruise.
But yeah, I always felt like I was an only child.
So your dad was a printer, and then did your parents split up when you were little, or?
Yeah, they split up when I was 11.
Oh,
So
man.
basically,
Yeah.
my dad went away from the house.
So that was like
And-
6th grade, right? Ish.
5th or 6th.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a rough time, right?
Yeah.
Anytime
but
is
I
rough for a
I
split.
understood it.
Yeah.
That split up, that divorce didn't really have an effect on me.
Oh, okay.
Only
saw it coming?
because, I just saw the tension in the house, and I understood it
Mm-hmm.
because I knew my mom's personality and I knew my dad's personality, and they just didn't mesh together.
A lot of nails in the head.
A lot of nails in the head.
Okay.
Just a lot of just two different people trying
Yeah.
to coexist, and
Do you think they were trying to make it work longer for you guys? Like one of those
I
situations?
heard about it. I heard like
Okay.
my dad stuck around until I was a little bit older,
Yeah.
because he was already, he was over it.
Yeah.
I love my mom, but she had issues,
Yeah.
And it really affected my dad, and it really affected my relationship with my dad because they didn't get along. My mother wanted me not to get along with my dad.
Yeah. She was
She was
sabotaging.
playing that role, which kind of
Yeah.
backfired on her because it made me lose respect for her.
Yeah. Drove you away from her. Kind of, right?
Well, I lived with her, so I couldn't
Yeah,
go
but
anywhere.
but still, like just as
It-
mentally, it
yeah,
put a
pushed you
wedge.
further.
Yeah.
it
Because
did.
all of us being kids of divorced
Yeah.
families,
My parents.
I
divorced.
think that's just a human thing that sometimes it's hard for people not to do is slag the other person, because my mom did it to a little bit to my dad, and it pushed my younger siblings further away from my dad.
Yeah.
because they believed her.
They believed her.
Yeah.
That's right.
See-
And I was there, and I knew the relationship.
Yeah.
My mom did, but it was warranted and
Yeah.
truthful. My dad was an alcoholic and like physical violence, like it was rough, but true fun love story. They got remarried later in life and
Wow.
everything was fine. He got sober but yeah, I remember as a kid my mom bashing him, but I knew it was true because I remember driving around in our van looking for him at bars and motels. Like he would just disappear.
But from your point of
But, yeah.
view, you had a good relationship with your dad. Like he
The best relationship.
and
And my dad would bash my mom, but it would be true
Yeah.
bashing.
yeah.
Like,
So like what my mom was doing.
so I'd be like, oh yeah, I see it, Dad.
Right.
There's nothing that you're saying that's not
Yeah.
true.
and that would be
so-
hard because
It's still
when he
yeah, you
goes and
shouldn't-
leaves, and due to custody laws and things like that, it's weird that the courts and things are automatically slanted to like, well, the mom knows best. But sometimes, let's give everyone an equal opportunity to be like psycho. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not just the dad that's being mean to the mom, so give the mom full custody. Sometimes it's the other way around. Like sometimes the mom is the one with the problem,
But
and then for them,
No.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I've seen it both ways.
Well,
Of
all my
course.
brothers, they're all grown up and out of the house already by the time my dad
Oh, wow.
left.
So that if the youngest next one up was only 5 years difference, they were out early then, right?
Pretty close.
Yeah, like 16, 17 maybe.
Yeah.
Like they were already out. That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
in that day and age, like in the 70s or late early 80s, like if you were 15 or 16, you were pretty much out of the house,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we didn't have like FORTNITE to keep us in, like
No,
locked
no.
in.
Yeah,
we
that's
were
true.
out going to parties and doing
Yeah.
things, like right.
But because I had a lot of friends, we had a great neighborhood. There was no video games. There was
Mhm.
no cell phones. We went outside and played, and I kept busy.
Yeah.
I was a street kid. I'd leave the house at 9 and come back at 9 or
That's-
10 or 12 at night, just hanging out with my buddies.
I think
Um,
I think most kids
Yeah, we were all kinda
'cause
like
I
that.
was, Christian was like
yeah,
It's just what happened back then. Like our parents weren't really helicopter parents, and we kind of touched on it before. It's like even if your dad was in the picture, a lot of dads are just like, I'm going fishing today.
Yeah.
Like I'll see you guys. I've worked all week. I'm doing my thing.
Be home for dinner if I'm even home. You know, the
totally.
dads sometimes wouldn't be there.
And my dad was always there for me. Like even like when I got sponsored by PAL and I needed like rides to the bus station to take the bus down here or flights. My dad was really supportive of the career that I chose, which was skateboarding. But then he was also very supportive of the women that were in my life. And my mom was the complete opposite. She'd always put the focus on her. She would be jealous of things that I did, things that I did for other people. It was the things that I did weren't good enough. So it made me feel bad about myself, where my dad was complete opposite. So here's my dad, super supportive, that was out of the picture, but I'm here living with my mom, who is taking care of me, but is so negative and hateful and resentful that it made me have a weird relationship with her.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my wife's mom sounds kind of like your mom in a sense, like is kind of sabotaging and jealous, and like she used to come out here years ago. She would come out here pretty frequently, and she would see the kids, and we're like, oh, she's gonna stay for this long, and we're gonna get some dates out of it and all this stuff. And then literally every trip she would change her ticket to fly back early, like every time. But what you were saying too, just kind of sabotaging stuff and like negative, and it's just like you almost can't win.
And for what it's worth,
that.
Like psychologically as a kid, like, you know, my parents' relationship was deteriorating at like a real crucial time in my life. I mean, 11, 12, 13, like that's like a crucial time in a kid's formative years. And so it made it easy for me to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to skate and get into punk rock. And so like at that time, it seems like music and skateboarding, like it's kind of a perfect time in a way for you to like just channel all that energy into something positive. Right. I mean,
I always had a creative bug.
Yeah.
I mean, I always loved movies. I loved just creating things. I think I always had this little bit of an artistic bug in me. And skateboarding was a really great way to express yourself, because it was kind of an art. It still is an art form.
It is, yeah.
You know, but because I competed in skateboarding at an early age, it became a sport for me. So I always looked at it as a sport.
Right.
But I could get creative
in
between all that. And so that took my mind off school, took my mind off women. It took my mind off drugs. It took my mind off just being idle to like bored. Like, what can I do to destroy something?
Yeah, entertaining yourself.
Get in trouble.
Well, that's how I feel too, because you were into something that was so much fun and you loved it so much, like you didn't care about, you know, because I'm still have never drank any alcohol or drugs. And when I was younger, I was very aware of it. And it's just like, all I want to do is skateboard. Like I wasn't into girls. Like I had a girlfriend once and I literally just broke up with her by walking past her at school because I was like, I just want to skateboard. Like, what am I doing? You know, like we used to literally meet up every day right before my woodshop class. And then one day I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. This freshman in high school, I just like kept walking, and I heard her going, "What's wrong with Jimmy?" And that was like the last time, and I just want to skateboard. Like,
I had weird dynamics at school. Like, I didn't really have a girlfriend at school because I was too shy.
I didn't
really know how to get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But the shyness really kept me from exploring that. But I learned at an early age, once you get famous, you don't even have to try. The girls start coming to you.
You can be shy all you want because it's going to come.
Well, that is like it's a crazy, in a few short years, like for a whole generation of kids, you guys were like
you guys
rock
were like
stars.
superstars.
I mean, you're like Mount Rushmore of like.
It's
awesome.
crazy.
It was a slow process, though.
Yeah,
well, for you, man.
In the 80s, you started 1980 as a pro, and it was rough times back then, right? Like,
I started in '76.
But as far as being a professional skateboarder,
turned pro in 1980.
So there was like no money in it. There was really, it wasn't what it was in the late 80s. That's for certain.
No, it grew.
Yeah.
The popularity grew.
And it wasn't like you guys just did nothing and were suddenly famous, obviously you skated all the time.
Yeah.
And you did demos and you went out and worked.
Yeah.
And
shot photos,
did
and
interviews.
interviews, went on tour.
But that said, he did wear different shoes. These are his skateboard shoes, and these are his going out shoes. Remember that?
Yes.
What video was that?
That was
Someone-
this maybe.
That was
or-
later- that was
Someone was
later
giving him
video.
guff about his
that was
shoes.
Lance.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. In the '80s, it was about fashion.
Yeah.
You know, so we always try to like be stylish in
Yeah,
a
trust
way.
me, Steve Drashinsky had your look.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my buddy.
And I think of like a lot of the skaters had a lot of style, and that was what was rad about the 80s, is that every skater had their own unique style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shape.
And shape, and board shape. Yeah, now all the board shapes are the
Yeah.
same, and the styles don't vary too hard either.
No.
Like everyone's kind of dresses the same, but
Yeah.
in the 80s it was like everyone was so unique, and their style and the way they looked, and definitely we could just talk about your hairstyles for like 10 minutes. Like,
There wasn't that many pros back then, though, too.
that's true.
So
That's
there's-
true.
There was 7.
So many.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
But even out of the top 10 of, like, say 1985, every guy was so different.
Totally. Yeah,
So different.
And you aligned yourself with that dude,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially I talked to people who were in the Bones Brigade and followed our whole career. Like,
Yep.
you know, I was Tony and my buddy was Cal.
Oh, yeah.
And my other buddy was Lance, and they always try to make their own brigade.
Totally.
You know, their own group.
Brad,
their own
remember
clique.
Brad Hayes, professional skateboarder Brad Hayes? He was literally a Steve Size clone when I first met him, because he's a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
We would skate these ramps called the H ramps, and he would show up lit like head to toe. He was
Yeah.
Steve Size.
Dressed up like
Wow.
Steve Size.
Yep. Yes. He can't deny it, Brad.
Brad, you can't deny.
He'll probably never listen to it. Yes.
But it's pretty crazy to think about, like, going from kind of pretty much obscurity in this obscure sport to being like, really, even now today, skateboarding is bigger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys, that generation of skate, you guys are the ones that like made. I mean, obviously, without Tony Alva and the Dogtown guys and all that, there would be no you guys. But without you, the Bones Brigade and that whole generation, skateboarding would have
We proved that
gone away.
there was your career longer than a few years.
Yeah. Well, clearly.
Before
Yeah.
us, pros only lasted like 2 or 3 years and they were done. Like they were
Yeah.
over at like 18, 19 years old. They were done. Like,
Right.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah, it's
We
like,
gotta
nah, time to
job.
get a
Right, like
job.
I used to work at Val
Yeah.
Surf in the Valley. Val Surf, like that was
Yep.
my skate shop.
You were a Val Kook?
That was a Val
I
Coop.
have a Val Surf skateboard too
Oh, you do?
from 1960s that was made at that shop.
Ah, the Richards
On my
brothers.
wall.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's super rare one.
Very rare.
Um, but like Brad Bowman.
More rare than your.
Don't say it.
Let's see. What do you got here?
No,
Don't
it's
say
rarer
it.
than anything in
Yeah.
here. This is all
No, no,
eBay
no.
stuff, but
No,
all of it. So
Sorry,
I
that's
have
okay.
a skateboarder.
Not more rare than
lunch
that
belt.
That's a good
drawing
one.
that my son did for me for Father's Day.
but like I worked at
But that
Val
Rambo
Surf,
painting.
and Brad Bowman.
That's cool.
Brad Bowman, who was a skateboarder from the late 70s, and he was pro for a hot second.
Uh-huh.
He used to come in and just chat, and he was
Yeah.
like a hairdresser, and he'd like left skateboarding a long time ago, and this
Yeah.
was like right in the heat. of-
Floby? Did you use a
He
Floby?
used a Floby.
Okay, perfect.
No, but he had like, he would wear like a sweater around his. He just looked like a hairdresser. He didn't
Yeah.
look like a pro skater.
That dude was the most photogenic skateboarder I've ever seen. You'd never seen a bad photo of him in Skateboarder magazine.
He was a handsome man. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
He was good looking. Those blue eyes.
I don't know what he looked
Yeah.
yeah.
Those blue
You get
eyes.
lost in those.
Oh my
that
goodness.
sea of blue.
But he was good
Mm.
too. He was really
Mm.
good.
He was very stylish.
Yeah.
You know, and that Val Surf that you worked at. like,
Yeah.
those ads in Skateboarder magazine were like, when we'd see those with the completes,
Right.
they were the first like kind of like mail order thing,
Uh-huh.
shop where you could buy a board anywhere in the world from them.
Yeah, that was my job. I would go pick orders
No,
and
it's
like
great.
pack them, pick them, pack. Like that was
That's
my
funny.
first job there.
And I looked at all the Sims boards, and Brad's was in there. Burt Lamar, who else? Dave Andrecht. Those
Uh-huh.
completes.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? I used to look at then the Veriflex team was there, and then they had Powell boards in there, Santa Cruz.
Totally, all
Yeah.
through the 80s, the
Yeah.
whole 80s.
This was
Like,
pre-CCS.
So we're getting at.
yeah, Val Surf
Yeah.
was one of the first companies to do that and
Yeah.
and do international shipping
That's
as well.
crazy.
So like if you wanted a board from California, Val Surf was one of the main companies that
Yeah.
would ship all that stuff, which is crazy. It's weird to think now it's just this global
Totally.
behemoth
Well, you can get it made in your
in your
in
country.
your backyard,
Yeah.
and it shows up tomorrow. And
Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Exactly.
What
We're
does that have to
drifting.
do with being a dad?
It doesn't. It has a lot to do with being.
We're
a
getting
dad.
there, Steve. We're getting there.
So
okay?
anyway, now you're a dad.
Yeah.
You've been a dad for a while. Kayla is your oldest.
I've been a dad for 22 years.
And a grandpa
Yeah.
for 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Totally.
That's a crazy life.
What's
And
your
you're
youngest?
Two,
How old's your youngest?
She's 10.
Okay.
Her name's Clover.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have a 13-year-old son, named
Caleb. Yeah.
They both skate or just Caleb?
They all skate,
okay?
and they all ridden BMX and ride dirt bikes. But my daughter Clover's kind of went more towards the computer stuff, and she plays a lot of video games. But she's also really intelligent and really creative on the iPad, where I bought the iPad and Procreate for me to learn how to do stuff digitally because I'm more kind of old school.
Mm-hmm.
I love painting with a brush, inking with a brush, and I bought the device for me to learn how to digitally create stuff for stickers and for reproduction,
Yeah.
you know, to hand over to a printer or
Just
something.
email files, basically.
Email
Yeah.
files. It's really easy to get
Yep.
those to people for production. Well, she took it over. She's 10.
Yeah.
And she's gotten pretty amazing at it, where when it was about my turn to try it and learn about it, she's taught me how to
She's
use
got
it.
all these hotkeys. Like, no,
She
Dad,
knows what
do
to do.
Command
Yeah.
P.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
yeah.
That's
so which
cool.
is really cool. You can learn
Yeah.
things from your kids.
No, absolutely. And I
As
think
well.
that's the difference from, I guess, when we were kids, we didn't have that technology and our kids are growing up with it. So they are, like, my son tells me stuff. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Right? You're supposed to, like that? Really? All right. Like, they absolutely know more than us about
No.
some of this technology.
No, my daughter's
Yeah.
like, Dad, you need to get a YouTube channel. Telling me
She's not
Yeah.
wrong, Steve.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, she's not wrong. Yeah.
You got to make it like this. You got to
Yeah.
have an opening because she's all about watching YouTube and everything.
Right. And I've seen a little bit of maybe some previews, which don't be afraid to plug it, Steve.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've seen a little bit of that. Cooking with Cab might
Cooking
be
with Cab.
something coming.
Yeah, so we're
Oh,
working on
I've
that.
seen your dishes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're, okay, so it all kind of started with the cab salad.
Yeah.
That's what I've
As a
seen
joke.
on Instagram. Yeah.
It was a joke
Yeah.
because people hate like when people post food.
Yeah.
I don't know why. People just don't like looking at food. They're like, why do you got to post food? Why can't you post a skate trick? It's like, dude,
Manage
everyone
your own
eats.
account, sir.
Everybody
This is-
eats.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Anyways,
Funny
so-
story, real quick. We did this Vans thing in New York a couple years ago where we were judging an art contest. You remember
Yep,
that?
Yep.
And you were on Instagram, and you asked me, "Are you on Instagram?" I'm like, "No, I don't even really know what it is."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Come on, bro, you gotta get into this." And he helped me set up my first Instagram account.
Yeah.
And that was like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And the first thing I posted was a picture of my dinner, and you're like, "Yeah, you're doing it right." And then people commented, "Perfect.
Yeah.
Your first thing you posted.
All right,
food. Good
you're
job."
natural. Yeah.
My first post was PLG.
Really?
Yeah, because Dune, Chris Pastras,
Yeah.
at a Do Tour, got me into Instagram because I was a late bloomer on Instagram as
Uh-huh.
well.
Yeah.
I was so late that I couldn't even have my own name.
Oh, really?
someone
Someone
had
had
already
stole
had
your
it.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to do Stevie Cab for the longest time until we finally found who owned it, and I had to like bribe
You had
him
to
with
barter?
boards and
Yeah.
T-shirts and stickers and shoes and a lot of stuff to get my name.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny.
But
I
I finally got it.
I was
That-
kind of late too, and I had a friend set mine up for me too, because I would always joke like, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend?" Like, "Oh, just doing World's Best Dad stuff," because my kids were super
Yeah.
young. And then my friend James Hardy, he's like, "You got to get on Instagram." I was like, "Nope, I don't want to." He's like, "Give me your phone," and he signed it up.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Look at your name,"
It's
and it's
World's
World's Best Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. And like, I've been blessed with having Cooking with Cab.
Yeah.
I found, hey, no one has Cooking with Cab.
Yeah.
All right, boom, got it.
Yeah.
So
So you have your own page,
Are you
or
going
is
to
that the
start
YouTube
shooting
thing?
episodes?
that's
then,
a
right?
page that I started just to have it.
Okay.
And I've been posting on there as well. But the Cab Salad thing all started from trying to lose weight. Just trying to eat a little bit
So we
healthier.
need some of those cab salads.
Yeah.
we do.
And I would just post it, and people would be like, "Oh, like there's a Cobb salad."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, is this the Cab salad?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that sounds kind of cool." So I'd hashtag it,
It's
right?
got dragon
And I
meat
would
in
just
it.
keep posting
Yeah.
it. Keep posting it, and I would just start adding different things to it that, like, just kind of like as an artist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I would like wow, when you look at it, it looks like art.
Yeah.
You know, with the way you prepare it and everything, and like people thought it looked like pizzas. That it was that, you know, it wasn't just lettuce.
Yeah,
And
I
some
saw
tomatoes.
a ton
It's
of
really
avocado
it's
on it.
really nice.
It's
Like
colorful.
it's
Yeah.
avocados and
Yeah.
strawberries.
So
and
there's a bunch of
yeah.
textures. There's a bunch of flavors, and I just like it, you know. And so I just kept posting it.
Is it
And
that
then
you
I
make it
started
the same
making
time
jokes.
every time, or is it
I do
different?
now.
Okay.
I would
So,
fiddle around with
'cause I was
different
gonna say, you got to
recipes.
keep your signature cab salad.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So now I kind of narrowed it down,
Okay.
and to the point where now it's so popular. It was a joke at first.
Yeah.
It's so, and that's the power of social media. Like you can promote and build anything out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the right following,
Yep.
and you know, you just keep pounding people. It's that, you know, it's the thing about radio. Like put a song on the radio, they just
Consistency.
keep
Yeah.
playing it,
Yeah.
keep playing it.
Yep.
You know, the news. You just keep feeding people
Yeah.
this news, and it's like it gets in their brain. And it's like,
That's why that song "Carry On My Wayward Son."
That's why it's a,
That's on every
top the
hour.
charts.
On the hour,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that song, but I love that song.
but it's
Exactly.
great.
I know. I know
You
all
love
the
to hate
words. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have that song stuck in your head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play
You
it.
But
ruined my
part
day.
of like cuisine though is also the presentation. So I think being an artist and being interested in cooking, it kind of meets in the middle. Because I mean, think about Japanese food, the presentation and the
all
way it
about the
looks is half the battle.
When
Yeah.
I microwave my burritos, I put them on there really nice. So, and then there's a
But
nice
that's why there's like
paper plate.
sushi is really popular, and there's not a whole lot of chili restaurants. You know what I mean? There's not a
Right.
lot of
Not
people
Japan.
like, wow, look at that bowl of
Yeah.
chili. It looks so.
You go to the
great."
Midwest, friend.
Well,
Yeah.
Hey,
don't
chili
get me
cook-off.
wrong.
Hit it.
I-
See,
I like
talk to my
cook-off.
guy Ferrari.
I
You
like
never
chili.
Been to
Yeah.
Patro chili
But
cook-off?
chili is one of those things where it's like you could be blindfolded and be like, "Wow, that tastes nice,"
Yeah, it's
but when
chili.
you look at it, you're like, "Ugh."
Where'd that come from? Yeah.
"What is that?"
You.
It doesn't look brown.
Yeah.
But the cab salad, it looks wonderful to eat, and
It's
so
not
I think,
for everybody.
well,
And people will be like, "Hey, it'd be so much better if you didn't add this." And I go, "Well, then
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a cab salad."
yeah, that's not my
Yeah.
salad.
Why don't you
dude.
make a Larry salad,
Yeah.
Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said that.
Yeah, see?
I'm like,
And
yeah,
rightfully
yeah,
so.
But yeah, can you just add this to it? I'm like, can you just like stop commenting me?
Yeah.
You know?
When
It's
we were
like,
talking about
You gonna go to
Mr.
Wolfgang
Private
Puck's
Page?
and
we were
tell
talking
him?
about
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah, we were talking
Those are
about that
the loudest
I'm
earlier.
gonna go on his page and wait, it's private.
Yeah, son of
You
a-
can't
Exactly.
judge or criticize him.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Darn it.
And again, those are the loudest people.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of like private pages that have like 0 posts,
Yeah.
and they're just there to comment on people.
I'm just gonna go ruin this guy's day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, how do you deal with that with kids? Like, just Caleb and Clover, do they have their own accounts? Or
They
Yeah,
do.
they're on social media.
And they do. And to be honest with you,
Are
as
they
a
private?
father,
Are they private?
yeah, as a father,
I'm not sure if
You
they
let 'em
are.
go
I don't think
public?
Caleb's is
Well,
because
this is-
I follow Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a father, and this comes with parenting,
Yeah.
there was some differences with me and my ex-wife about cell phones.
Yeah.
They probably would not still have cell phones yet.
If it's for your
if I was
ex-wife?
in control
Oh,
Right.
okay.
of the situation,
So you don't want that stuff, and she's okay with it.
she's okay with it.
Okay.
She got them their first phones,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a group discussion.
Yeah.
So, and I just had to go with it. You know, she bought them for them under her plan, so it's like there's nothing I could do.
So that's a tough one when you're divorced too, because she.
This is
was
when
like,
we were married.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So never mind.
This is
so
leads
might
to
have
divorce.
led to it. Like my
these
kids.
kind of issues
yeah.
lead to
Yeah.
divorce.
Exactly.
It's called co-parenting.
Yeah, my kids don't have cell phones, but we talk about it all the time because it's like if my son goes out, like we need to get in touch with him. So we're like, we should probably get him one soon, and even my daughter, but we're holding off on that.
You
Even
have
just-
the Apple Watches.
They don't have any of that stuff. Yeah, my
But the Apple Watch is
yeah,
a
yeah.
good way to. You can't go on the internet,
okay.
and it's just like a phone. Like you can talk.
So
with
my
the
kids
Apple
have
Watch.
iPod touches and you can text, but if you don't have Wi-Fi, it's useless.
Yeah.
And they can FaceTime.
When
us.
you were talking to the phone, I just thought about when we were kids, that Johnny Sacco and his giant
Yeah.
robot, and he
Yeah,
called Giant
exactly.
Robot. And you always would think, and I would get my dad's watches and pretend that it was
Yeah.
like you could see somebody on video on your phone, and now you can actually do it.
Well,
I just trip out
just like
sometimes.
Star Trek. The flip,
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What was it called? The communicator.
Yeah, those Motorola phones that
Yeah.
flip, the
Have 'em
flip
now.
phones. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. It's so weird.
That was so like yesterday.
Yeah.
I know, and it was so far fetched as kids to think that you could do something like that, or even with a Walkman, you're skateboarding to school with your Walkman. To think that you could watch TV and listen to anything
Totally.
you want, like I want to listen to this song, boop boop boop, and it's right there.
Yep.
Like
Even if you don't have it on your iPod, you could just type in into YouTube and get anything.
anything.
Yeah.
It's such a trip. And being a parent, and
Welcome to the Old Guy Podcast,
knowing
guys.
that knowing
Yeah.
that your kids kind of have free access to that, it's a little unnerving, right? I mean,
yeah, and I had to teach them. I was debating whether to have them have pages, Instagram pages,
Mhm.
because I had to try to warn them about how brutal social media is and how people will just comment and type and opinionate and say so many things that are rude and hurtful. And I was seeing whether they can handle it or not,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because I couldn't even handle it as an adult,
right.
let alone a kid handling all that
But
pressure.
even more than that, like the people that aren't posting right to your page is creeps. Like that's just scary. Like there's
Yeah,
so many
that
like
too.
weirdos, and as a parent, you got to watch out for that, and you don't even really see it because these dudes are lurking in the shadows and trying to send DMs or whatever they're doing. Like
and it happens with video
that's
games
insane,
too.
too.
where
Yeah.
you
No,
can- where you
absolutely.
can chat.
yep,
Mhm.
You know, I've caught my daughter chatting with people like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so and so. He's 16. Like, nope,
yeah, exactly,
Yeah, 16.
no, you're done.
totally,
Why does a 16-year-old need to talk to a 10-year-old?
yep,
Like, no,
Right.
ain't happening. So, back to co-parenting and being a responsible father. They probably would not have phones yet,
hmm
and just because I don't want them exposed. And I see it now. What's happening with our family dynamic is like, I'm on mine because I
Business,
use mine
yeah.
for business. And,
yeah,
you know, I'm blessed to be able to have that ability to do that. But I see my kids on their phones and we're not even talking to each other.
totally,
Yeah.
I mean, even in the car, my son's got his headphones on, my daughter's on her phone, and I'm driving, and everything's silent. We go to the restaurant. You know,
Everyone's
I've
on their
tried to
phone.
do like leave the phones in the car so we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
yep,
But it's just
It gets hard.
it's
Yeah, it's tough.
it's making us more not a family. It's more just we're distancing ourselves because we're trying to be entertained.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally,
You know,
Yeah.
so getting out to the skate park helps. Getting out to the pump track, riding BMX, or skating, going to the motocross track helps. Going to the beach.
yeah.
I mean, those kind of
Basically,
things.
being engaged in your kid's life and
Yeah.
like trying to put that aside is
Yeah.
the main point.
Yeah.
You know,
And so those are the things I would always try to push and promote. But
we
my
talked,
ex wasn't on the same page, so that caused a lot of problems.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
we talked a little bit about like the COVID weight that we all kind of gained
Mm-hmm.
during the lockdowns
Hey,
and
bro.
stuff that happened. But I found like during the lockdown, like our family kind of got a little closer together because we couldn't really go anywhere, and like the phones and all that stuff, it got old after a while. And then the constant barrage of news that's mostly negative and scary at some point was like, let's just play some games. And we started hanging out a little bit more
Yeah.
during the
Tackle
lockdown.
football
I
and
don't
stuff.
know. I found that. Yeah. Go out in the yard and
Yeah, let's
just
play some
hit
games.
each other
Yeah.
really hard. No, I found like we started to come together a little more as we kind of decided to ditch the phones and
Yeah.
kind of unplug a little bit more. And you can't really be on your phone and go to the pump track or go skate, so that's good.
No,
to
but
be-
I have it on me because I'm filming
Yeah,
that.
I was just gonna
Right,
say
that's
you can't
true.
for a second when you're like, "Hey, do it again, Caleb."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess you do
Dad,
gotta
don't,
take
don't
it. Yeah.
film me, Dad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like sometimes I think they kind of get over it. Like, Dad, you're filming me too much.
Yeah, my kids hit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm
I would
like-
take a ton of photos and they're just like over it.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
why? I told you not to post that, Dad.
Yeah, my daughter says
You
that.
know?
Don't
Right.
post that. Like
Yeah.
anytime I shoot a photo, don't post that. Like, come on.
which I think is good. I mean, it's good to like just be free with the kids, right? And
Yeah.
No, it
hang
totally
with them.
is.
Yeah,
But I'm proud of my kids and I want to show them off.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
I want to show that I'm active with, because it's really great when I am able to show my kids and doing things with them. I get these comments saying like, I love that you're so active with your,
Yeah, you're a normal person
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
like
And
doing the right thing.
when they say that, I'm like, is this not normal where you're not like fathers and
I don't think it
parents
is
don't
normal.
hang out
Yeah.
with their kids? And I'm not like, I don't have like a 9 to 5 job where I
Yeah.
got to clock in. So when I'm home, I could spend as much time as I want with my kids. I know some people don't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
They clock in at like 8 o'clock in the morning. They come back at 6 or 7. They
They're
eat dinner.
beat.
They go to bed.
Yeah.
They don't ever see their kids.
Yep.
Right.
You know, I've been blessed with a career that allows me to manage my own time, and if I'm with my kids, I try to spend time with them, and
like real
because it's
time.
it's not gonna be always around. When they get older, they're not gonna want to hang out with
Oh,
dad.
for sure.
Right.
And I
Well,
don't care. I could be the coolest dad,
you know, but like think about it though.
and they don't want to hang out with me.
My son's already there. He
You're
doesn't
yeah, my
wanna hang
kids
out
are
with
kind of
us.
like. It's
And it's a
funny because
bummer.
I was
It
been
is.
trying to get my kids into skating forever, and they finally started right when I was like, I kind of gave up, not gave up skating, but gave up trying to get them to go.
Yeah.
And now they'll go skate, and I'll be like, can I come with you? And they're like, why don't you
Yeah.
stay? Yeah, they kind of give me the gas face a little bit. Like,
That's funny.
We're gonna go with our friends,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is a bummer for me. But at the same time, I think people like yourself and Tony is a great example, and Christian Hosoi is a great example
Yeah.
of like showing that through skateboarding and through activity, you're staying close to your kids. Because even Riley, Tony's son Riley, they still hang out and skate together, and I can't imagine there's gonna, hopefully not, that you and Caleb aren't gonna like stay skating together or
Be tight.
riding motocross. And I think that's a great example to our generation of dads that have stayed close to their kids.
Well, I mean,
I think it's good.
There's a sacrifice that you have to do, and like I used to love video games when I was a kid,
Yeah.
but then my son Caleb wants me to play with them, and I don't want to play.
Right.
The
And
new
so-
games he wants to play, like all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I don't play.
He
any
wants
of
me to
that.
play Fortnite. He wants me to play Battlefront. He wants me to play Grand Theft Auto, like all those games, and I'm
Mhm.
like, it's not into it. But I kind of think like, should I be into it? Like, should I should I sacrifice like the agony of like I don't really want to do this just to?
I would say you
enjoy
should. Just
I think if he
because
wants
it's
you
like
to,
if he's
yeah.
asking you to do it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's him wanting to hang out with you. So any opportunity
That's
that
a battle
parent
that I have
gets-
sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
let's just go skate or
No,
something.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we talked
agree.
about this the other day too.
Yeah.
Like my son, we downloaded all these vintage games like Frogger and
Mhm.
Pac-Man and Mario, and my son and I and my daughter would play those all the time. And
Yeah.
now he's kind of past those and just into Fortnites and
Yeah.
all this other stuff that I don't get. I never play those with him. So
Well, it's a commitment. It's a time commitment. It seemed like the older games were more like you got 3 chances to get to the top, and if you lose, you got to put another quarter in. So it seemed like it was like easier to like, okay, well, let's move on to something else because it seems like the new games with the story modes and it's just like a long time. You could play forever. Like you could
keep
play.
going. You
I
reset,
think it's
reset,
you could just
reset,
keep
reset.
playing over and over.
I think
It
for
never
me,
ends.
for me with those older games, it's more of a nostalgia thing probably, and it's like
Yeah,
I want to
that's
show
true.
my kids those
Mhm.
things, and I don't understand Fortnite, so it's like
Yeah.
I think that's where it is with me.
Did you see the movie Battle Royale? It's based on Fortnite.
No, I have not.
You never seen that Japanese movie? The
No.
movie Battle Royale?
No.
Oh, that's basically where Fortnite got its premise from.
Okay.
It's a Japanese film. It's Beat Takeshi is a comedian, but it was
They chop trees down
it-
to build
well, I guess
wood.
that's the one thing that's not in the movie is the forts.
to build
Yeah.
towers.
But
Yeah.
it's the last one standing kind of a thing.
Okay.
That's
They
kinda
drop a
like
bunch
all
of high
games.
school
Yeah, I
kids.
believe it is.
They-
Hey, thanks for coming
But
to
it's
the
on,
podcast today, Christian.
it's on an island, though. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
much Battle Royale without the forts.
So I'm going to talk about an obscure movie. Have you seen Roadhouse?
I have.
Have you seen Roadhouse?
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, it's a
What a
beautiful
great
movie.
film.
Beautiful.
John
Ever
Gilford
played Pong?
Yeah.
There's only one winner.
There is only
If
one.
it misses your paddle,
That's
you're
true.
lose.
I guess that's based on that movie too.
So all games are based off of that
Off this
movie.
Japanese film. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Thank
I'm
you.
a big Japanese
Thank
film
you.
fan. So.
Yes.
Anyway,
So am I.
Yeah.
The 70s.
yes,
Ultraman.
so good.
Yeah, that's
Godzilla.
this guy.
Kimba. Speed Racer.
Oh, all of it.
Bro, we were there.
We are all there.
I was never into Godzilla or any of that stuff. Like my son got into it crazy though. It's so weird, and I think he got into it from his cousin. My nephew Wyatt was into it
Are you
somehow.
80s?
I was
70s
born
kid?
in '74,
Okay.
but I just wasn't really into Godzilla ever.
That was, early 70s.
Yeah.
Saturday morning
Okay.
or Saturday night creature
Yeah.
features.
Yeah, I never saw
Ultraman,
any of that
Godzilla.
Yeah.
When first time I saw Johnny Sacco and Giant Robot, like that movie, that show was
Yeah.
like,
Space Giants.
yeah, Space Giants. Oh man, all
Didn't
those
the Vandals
shows.
invent them with their song?
Road
No,
Dak.
that was from
Oh,
it was from Battle Royale. the
okay.
Japanese.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Battle Royale.
But when
Invented that.
Giant Robot like shot those missiles, like,
Yeah.
I was all right. I'm in. I'm hooked.
Do you know I met Ultraman?
Did you really?
And I met Godzilla.
No way. The real
the,
guy.
The guys that actually played in
Yeah.
the suits.
Over
the
here
60s,
or in Japan?
In Japan.
Oh wow.
I went. I got invited to go to Kirk Hammett's Fright Night
Oh
in
yeah.
San Francisco,
Uh-huh.
and I go in this room, and I see these Japanese guys talking, and they got interpreters. And I'm like, who are these guys on the panel? And then all of a sudden they show the pictures of them like black and white, and one's in a Godzilla suit and one's in an Ultraman suit.
Oh man.
That's cool.
That's
So
cool.
the guys that I looked up to in the 60s, like watching those shows that were in the suits, I got to meet them and get autographs and everything.
That's
so
amazing.
it was pretty amazing that I finally got to, take a photo and get an autograph from one of my heroes as a kid.
I think that one of
know?
those
Yeah,
dudes.
cool.
So
I think
cool.
the Godzilla guy was at one of those Monster Paloozas.
I
Are you
think he
familiar
just
with
passed
those
away,
things?
too.
Yeah, he did. But I took my son to a couple of those with our friend, Jamie Owens.
Mm-hmm.
So him and I would go to those things, and I brought my son a couple times. He brought his older daughter.
Oh, Monster Palooza?
Yeah, Monster Palooza.
Have you
My-
been to Monster
Oh, yeah.
Palooza?
Yeah,
Few
my son
times.
dressed up
I've
as Business
never been.
Godzilla.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I'm always out of town, or always.
If you're
Oh, we were
Halloween-
supposed to go once, and
if
you're
you
like,
love
I'm out of
Halloween,
town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Oh, I love it. I love Godzilla and
Oh.
Japanese stuff.
Just
Does Kirk Hammett still do that thing, the creature feature
I'm not
thing?
sure.
Because I know
I'm not
he's a big Japanese toy collector as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
All that stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely into it. I haven't heard about it. I think maybe there was like 2 years that he had it going on in San Francisco, and I haven't heard anything about it lately. But big collection. Like they showed his actual collections.
Mhm.
A lot of movie posters from the 60s and 70s, and a lot of toys and a lot of special effects. A lot of artists.
Like original stuff.
Yeah, guys that drew that stuff from back in the day.
Wow, that's rad.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so kind of like a Comic-Con, but
Hmm.
like creature features type.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
More monster based
yeah,
stuff.
monster.
So
based.
speaking of that, you're a collector, right? You're a
Yes, I'm
nerd
a
like
hoarder.
us. Yeah.
Hoarder.
Yeah. Collector.
Collector.
And one of the things is
You were a
skate-
hoarder when you
skateboarding.
were married, and now that you're not, you're a collector.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
See,
That's
That's how it
what
works.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah. You've been conditioned to think you were a hoarder,
No,
though.
but you're a
apparently.
collector. Was we've seen like pictures of your skateboard collection?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like '60s skateboards
Yes.
mainly, right?
Yes.
It's older than the generation that, but
Generation before me, definitely.
yeah, because the guys that are our age are collecting like boards with graphics on it, or
Mhm.
like the more
Dumb stuff like
80s
this.
80s boards,
Yeah.
you
These
know.
are cool too.
But then you're like the generation before, and you have like old Valser boards and
yes.
Black Knight and all those old, right?
Yeah, and it was just kind of one of those. It was a whim. Like I could care less about the '60s, and then I went and met Neil Blender
Uh-huh.
at Ocean Beach,
Right.
and
Oh,
he
his
has
little boards.
yeah the polarizers.
Yep.
So we've been cruising around in those. He made me one for my birthday, and then I met him at Poots Park, and he had like a '60s deck, and I'm like, can I try it? And he's like, yeah. And I used to ride him in this
In the
late
60s.
'70s.
Yeah, late 70s.
Because when I got into skateboarding, I got in skateboarding mid '70s, but there was still '60s boards around.
Yeah.
And so there was already the urethane wheel, which came out in '73, but all the boards that I collect are pre '70s,
Mhm.
so no urethane wheels.
Right.
It's all steel wheels, clay, rubber, or plastic
Yeah.
on all those boards. All the graphics are on top because there's no such thing as grip tape. So now when grip tape was invented, all the graphics went on the bottom of
Right.
the board.
Yeah.
So we went there to Poods, and it's really slippery there, and he had a board with clay wheels. I'm like, let me try that thing. I tried to push on it and just turned and just slid out.
Yeah, hipper.
Right? And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Like, but it was just cool to just ride it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this is a board made in the '60s. And then I went home and I'm like, searched eBay. I'm like,
I'm
and
gonna
I
buy them
found
all.
one. I found one.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So it
this
was
is
like
cool.
your Pokemon Go. You're gonna collect them
Exactly.
all.
I
Yeah.
bought one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, here it goes.
You're all in. That's Cab. He
There
goes
it
all
goes.
in. He goes all
I
in.
went all in.
Right?
Yeah.
And that collection took me 3 months.
Only 3 months.
3
So
months.
he was definitely all in.
To have
You were
over
all
100
in.
decks.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Every single day there was packages coming to my house.
Oh, that's
That's
so
so
funny.
good.
And the way that I would fund it, it was either trading like signature boards that I would get from
Right.
Hal, or doing art for people, trading art. So I never touched
Oh,
like
okay.
I never touched
So the bank account
The
wasn't
bank
being
account-
affected.
no, this is all PayPal and eBay.
And I'm sure people that you were getting stuff from were probably fans, and they're like,
Huge fans.
"Well,
and
yeah,
when I started posting on
I'll trade you."
Instagram, and
Yeah.
Instagram was a great tool to get all this collection really quick, because I would post a new one and then people are like, oh my goodness, he's collecting 60. I got one.
Yeah.
Hey,
Maybe I could
message,
get a
hey, do
board.
you want
Yeah.
this, Dad,
Yeah.
to add your collection? Yeah. What do you want? Can you
I-
just
I
give me a
forgot
piece of
about-
art?
I forgot about this. Like what you're saying, there, fans. Like I actually ordered a print from you for my son, an Ultraman print,
Oh,
and he
awesome.
still has it. Like he was like so pumped.
Oh, cool,
we found
cool.
it, and we're like, "Oh, you want that?" Like we ordered it for him for his birthday, and he got
Awesome.
it. And you sent a poster, a skate poster
Yep.
with it too.
I would add
Yeah.
signatures.
Yeah.
Because that was like a surprise
Uh huh.
for them, and then I'd put some stickers in there as well.
Yeah,
and-
I'll show the photo here. Yeah, my son still has it. It's like
That's
on his
cool.
wall. Yeah, it's funny. I forgot about that.
So Instagram really helped build that collection really quick.
Yeah, that's fun.
And then that skateboard book that came out, like that skateboard Bible book, like of showing all the collections,
Was
everything.
it disposable or
Disposable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean Cliver book.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I could have cared less on the '60s section.
Oh, he had a 60s section?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But when it came out, I could care less about it.
Right.
And then I just all about the '80s and
Yep.
my decks, and and then as soon as I got into the '60s, I'm like, I just started reading that thing. I'm like, okay, what's out there?
Yeah.
So mostly like collecting's all about the quest and conquering, and
Yeah.
like it's like a treasure hunt.
Totally.
And that's the thing about collecting. There you
This
go.
took me years to find this Rambo board.
Yeah.
And
Straight
when
up,
you got
straight
it,
up.
you're like,
I was so pumped.
yeah. And then you're like, you put it on the wall, and you're like, okay, now what?
Now my
Exactly. What's next?
Yeah,
Now
it's
what?
still
What
hollow
can I look
inside.
for?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
Collecting these things, and I still get people commenting, be like, "Yeah, I showed my collection." They're like, "Yeah, I'm so stoked that I donated a board to that collection."
rad.
So that's a story in itself. Like,
Yeah.
Cab's collection,
Yep.
that board, that's mine.
That's
That was,
mine,
I
yeah.
gave it to him.
That's
Are there any
cool.
holy grails out there that you can't get? I'm sure you got your eye on
I've
a couple that.
I've got pretty much every holy grail that
Oh
I
wow.
want. There's a couple that I probably could get, but they're going to be pricey.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to. I'm a wheeling dealer as well. So I don't try to spend too much money on
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah.
I won't go all out. But if the timing's right and the price is right, I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
But I said I was going to stop at 50,
Mm-hmm.
and I have like 120. Yeah.
Amazing.
But I have this one wall.
I think I meant 250.
Well, I
Yeah.
have one wall, right? And then if you go down the hallway, there's another fresh wall that I
Right.
could add. And I'm like, no, I'm just stopping on this wall.
Right.
here.
But there's another blank wall. It needs something. Yeah.
Well, that could be something else.
Yeah,
It
that-
is.
Because you have a lot
You
of
have
other
other
stuff,
stuff.
too. You
Well,
got
that's
Evil Knievel connection or collection,
yeah.
right? You got some Ultraman stuff.
Ultraman,
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
You got one of these?
Godzilla. I do.
Is it
I have
rough
that one.
shape
There's
like this thing?
there's multiple banks that came out.
Okay.
It's not just Dr.
Dr.
Zayas.
Zayas.
There's like the Urko one,
Yeah,
and the
Galen.
Cornelius, and,
Yeah.
right? There's a bunch.
Do you have all of those or just one?
These don't hold up. They break real easy.
They do.
Well, they're old.
Yeah, they're old.
Yeah.
It's in boxes in the garage. I haven't even unpacked it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they're not all my collections aren't up because when me and my ex moved into the new house, I wanted the house because when we met, I was living in a bachelor pad. And it was all my
Okay.
collections, everything. So when we moved into the new house, I wanted her to feel like this was her house,
Our house.
our
maybe?
house.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll let you decorate it.
Yeah.
So she took over my cases, which left all my boxes in the garage. They're
There's
still in the garage.
Beautiful cat figurines in those
Yeah.
those cases
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But now that I'm bachelor,
Yeah,
again,
bachelor cab.
the
Let's get
collection-
them toys
the
out,
collections
nerd.
are coming out.
Here they come. Here they
Oh,
come.
and
Finally, I'm a bachelor cab, and I'm gonna bust the
Right.
toys out.
40-year virgin. What is that movie?
Yeah, 40-year-old
yeah.
virgin.
Yeah.
When I
that's
was
me.
working on
Steve
Yo
Carell.
Gabba Gabba, I had all my Japanese toys in my office. And I was interviewing a script supervisor that needed
Yeah.
to come in. She walked in. She's like, "Wow, you're like the 40-year-old virgin." It was like, "You did not get
Shut
the
up.
job."
Yeah.
Next. But I have a really cool.
We'll get back to you.
yeah. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Yeah.
I have a really cool collection that I want to put up. It's my Migo collection.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And those are
Originals
man
or
dolls.
you rebought those?
All original. All original.
So they
And
were
almost
yours when
every-
you were a kid.
Oh
is
no
what
no
I'm
no no
asking,
no.
Original.
No.
Yeah.
What I had from a kid was the only thing that my mom probably saved was a soldier ape jacket.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
But
I have a couple
re-
Amigos.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And those
They're
were
in
the
the
first
garage.
dolls that I played with.
Action figures.
You know,
action
action
figures.
figure.
Yeah. Jeez.
Man dolls.
Yeah, man dolls.
Yeah.
8-inch figures with the cloth clothing and So the superheroes, Planet of the Apes, the
Yep.
Star Trek.
Articulation, their wrists
Yeah.
moved.
Just this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, their
And,
arms moved up and down.
It was
too.
fun collecting those again.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple holy grails on there that I never got. You know, that
All the Marvel action figure,
All
or
of
the
them.
DC.
Yep.
The funny story is like the guy from Mego, when Star Wars was coming around to get
Oh, yeah.
licensed, the guy was like, "Nah,
They passed.
pass."
Pretty much everyone did.
And it sunk that ship because
yep. I always tell
Kenner
that story.
killed it.
they
Yeah.
needed Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right? Star Wars killed it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I always tell that story. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it was someone came to Migo with the idea of like, hey, there's a movie coming out, it's a sci-fi love story. We want you to make the toys. They're
Yep.
like, nope,
Nah.
That's-
doesn't sound interesting.
That's the
That
same
sounds
thing.
Boring.
Kenner picked it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye bye Migo.
And
goodbye.
It made
destroyed
him out of
every
business.
Yeah.
toy company. But that's the same thing with Blockbuster and Netflix. Like Blockbuster was going to buy Netflix back in maybe late 90s or 90s somehow. And
Oh, I
they're like,
remember.
we're good, bro. We're good.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. People are coming to us. Okay. And that was when they were mailing out like
we have
CDs.
hundreds of stores.
Or DVDs.
Yeah,
They were
DVDs,
mailing
yeah.
out DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mego started up again. They started doing stuff again. The original guys got the
Oh, really?
license back.
Yeah, I
or they
saw
got
a
the
lot
name
of
back.
stuff at when Tower Records was around, they were started to release some of the old molds.
Oh, crazy.
Yes.
So they're exactly the
Exactly
same?
the same, but they called it a different thing. Like
Yeah, but I think if
Classic
you look on
Toys or-
Instagram, it's Mego Corporation.
Okay.
There's like a new company, and they're trying to redo new stuff.
oh, just
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah, just recently. Yeah, just like this year.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they hit us up
I
about
can
Aquabats.
Really?
We wanted
Oh.
Aquabats. I was like, yes, please. I
Please.
think because we were so eager.
Can
they're
you
like,
pay in advance?
We'll call you later.
yeah. Like
You
what you did
didn't
to
get
that
the
girl in
job.
the interview?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get back to you, Aquabats.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're too interested.
Play a little hard to get.
Play the game, cut a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
You dummy.
Because that would be awesome to have Mego figures.
Yeah.
So,
So we
That's
need a
pretty
cab
cool.
figure.
What's in the
dude.
box?
anything else? Any other old stuff? Because collectors.
720.
It's up in my game room.
You got the 720.
Does it work?
TV?
Oh, we
I
gotta
had
go
it
play it.
refurbished.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Probably like 10 years ago.
That game was hard to play. When it for like the round
Oh, yeah.
joystick and yeah, I was never good at it. I was more of a bubble bobble
Lots
guy.
of
I had to
lots of
put-
bean
I
plants
had to
in
put a
that
lot
game.
of
Yeah.
quarters in there, you know.
Yeah, see, we didn't have a lot.
We
of
got good
quarters.
at
Yep.
it because I had to. It was open, so I could
Ah, you unlocked it.
ching.
Well, you did the ad for it, and they gave you one, right? That's the
Yes.
story.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
But I still have that game. And the other game I have is a Evil Knievel pinball.
Oh, nice.
Always wanted a pinball machine, and it was one on eBay that came from Canada, and I ended up getting that in around 1999 for about $600,
Whoa, that's not
and
bad.
it cost like $400 to ship,
Whoa.
Yeah.
but it works.
Yeah.
Do you know Jim Gagney,
Yep.
old pro skateboarder? He's got Jim's Arcade, and he's local to us. So
Mhm.
occasionally he'll set up dudes nights, and we go over there and have pizza and
I
play.
didn't know that.
He's got like 7 or 8 pinball machines,
Oh, awesome!
and it's just all pinballing.
What?
You went in on
You
the
never
next one?
invited me
Are
to that?
they digital lights or are they the actual
I don't. I think they're digital,
analog?
but I don't know for sure. I'll
The
get
Evil
a photo
Knievel
and
one
post
is
it,
one
though.
from the 70s.
digital.
Though.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
digital, right?
Yeah.
That's
The
cool.
old school gas station, like doop, doop, like
Yeah.
counter. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, his are digital.
Okay.
Yeah, but he has again Jim's Arcade, and it's fun. He's got a ton of pinball machines. We'll invite you next time.
Amazing. Going from your experience, your own experience with your parents, and now you're in a similar situation with your kids,
Yes.
where you can relate to maybe how they're feeling a little bit. You share custody with your ex-wife,
Mhm.
but also,
Because they're kind of the same age as when your dad and mom divorced. You were 10 or 11, right? And that's your
I was
daughter.
11 when my
Yeah.
dad left.
Yeah.
so like, is there kind of any advice or things you're working with your kids on to try to make things kind of
As-
help them through it? Because it
As
sounded like,
cohesive as well
yeah,
as
it
possible.
sounded like when you were a kid, your dad was not there, but you wished he was there, but you were with your mom, and it kind of created a weird storm or whatever.
Well,
but
With my dad not being there, he was there when I needed him.
yeah,
And when you're a kid and you're busy with your friends, you don't really need your parents.
Totally.
You just need your friends to hang out and have fun.
yeah,
But when I needed him something like a bike or a skateboard, he was always there. and always supplied me with things that I needed. So I never felt anything lacking from my dad, except for just physical, like seeing him. But I could call him, and he'd be there anytime. And that's what I want to do with my kids. I want them to know that I'm going to be there for them all the time.
Yeah.
The thing about everyone's situation is completely different. Everyone's got different jobs. Everyone's got different situations where you're married, you're divorced, you've never been married, but you have kids. You have a good job, you have a bad job. So you get there's not a formula. It's just you just kind of got to do what you have, you know. And also becoming a dad, you know, you take a little bit from your own parents, how they parented you, and the good and the bad. And sometimes the bad shines when it's like, man, you know, I'm starting to act like my mother.
Yeah.
Always yelling all the time. Now here I'm yelling at my kids and being really short. So just the actual experience of being a dad, there's a lot to learn. There's no book really to guide you, because every kid's different, every situation's different. But there is one book that I do read, and that's the Bible, and that really helps me keep me grounded of how to love other people correctly. Like, there's different types of things that we've learned over the years from books and magazines and movies of how people show love, but the book that I read shows how God loves people.
So maybe Judas should have read that book.
Yeah,
I think he should, or maybe he didn't know how to. And it's not all about just reading the book. It's like understanding it and following it.
Yeah.
Like, because
practicing what you
preach. And like, it's like you could teach your kids everything that you want to teach them, hopefully they'll turn out the way you want them to. But then because of free will, we all have it.
Yeah.
Which is the freedom of choice.
Devo wrote about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to choose whether they're going to go your way or their way.
Well, I think the bigger part of it is, in my opinion, and you're already doing it, is the involvement in your kids' lives and being there how even your dad was there, even though he wasn't there. He was still there for you, you know, and just like I said, being involved and being there and showing them that this is how you do it. Like I didn't necessarily have that, and Christian for a little bit didn't have it.
I mean,
but
my parents, growing up, were there, but they were working out their own issues as well as we are as well.
I think I'm more involved with my kids than my parents ever were involved with me.
And I think the same about me and my kids as well, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. Maybe, and I don't think it's all broken homes, but maybe that's what it is. It's like, oh, I'm going to do it this way, you know.
Yeah.
And hopefully your involvement is going to help your kids make better decisions, or just.
I like the way my dad supported me and treated me, so that's I kind of model that.
Yeah.
Whatever my kids are into, let's go 100% and support them.
Yeah.
Whatever they're into. Like, I'm not trying to make my kids be a certain thing.
Yep.
But I share these things that are in my life. Like, I share music with them. I share art. I share skating, motocross.
And your faith, right?
And my faith.
Yeah.
I share all this with them, and it's their choice whether they want to go with it. And it's not going to make me angry or, except I was a little bummed out when my son wanted to get in a scootering.
My son still has a scooter, yeah.
And he was a skateboarder first, and then he went into scooter. I'm like, oh my goodness, really? Why'd you have to go there?
That's my son too.
I'm like, don't do this to me. And I'm like, it's not about me.
No, totally.
Right? I'm like, okay, what's the best scooter out there? I'm gonna buy it for you.
Yeah.
And I bought him the best one.
But now he's not that into it anymore, right?
He's got back into skating.
Yeah.
But it was because of his friends and his environment.
Well,
that no one skated.
Cab accidentally threw his scooter away.
I did.
Oops.
Oh, where is
Both
it?
of them. They're gone.
Somebody stole it.
Once they were over it, they're like,
we gotta get rid of that.
Yeah.
You know.
But back to kind of my point is like being involved in their life, you know, being there and sharing your time with them. And the way I see it is like, and my wife too, it's you're having these kids and nothing else should matter in your life. Nothing should take priority over trying to do the right thing with your kids, you know. And whereas my dad or whatever, like had his own issues, alcoholic, wasn't around, even with fishing when he was around, like, oh, I'm going fishing today. Sorry, I'm doing my own thing, you know, like, we're sports parents, Christians the same too. It's like all we do every weekend is drive my daughter around to either softball or soccer, and it used to be like that with my son too. But you know,
but I think you brought up something really important about free will or free agency. You know, is that we want to like teach our kids to make good choices.
Yep.
And we all of us make bad choices. We all have to learn from our mistakes. Right. We all make bad choices, but and ultimately, if we can guide our kids not to make the same choices or, you know, make good choices, right? So we give them a lot of things to choose from, and hopefully most of those things are good things to choose from. You know?
Well, it's education.
Yeah.
It's just educating and not being afraid to tell these kids that this is out there. This is
communication.
What happens. Communication. You know, so, you know, I haven't really gotten to some points that I want to talk to my son about yet. And my daughter's 10, you know, so I can't really bring up too much. But yeah, she's, you know, my daughter right now is struggling
with the divorce and the
we're not really quite sure what it is yet. We're going to take her to counseling. It could be, it might be her sexuality, you know, because she's had some friends that she's met on the internet that
she's trying to figure out who she is.
Trying to figure out who she is and where she. I think it's all about fitting in. It's just like the scooter thing. Like my son got into scootering because all his buddies were scootering.
Yeah.
So sometimes you become who you're around.
Yeah.
And who's involved in your life. And
that's when Christian got into rollerblading.
Yeah.
Only for a hot minute.
Yeah, he was on Venice.
Right now she's, you know, and we haven't really nailed it down. I've gotten a few arguments with my ex about where she thinks it's coming from.
Yeah.
And I think she's kind of projecting her life with me. Like, hey, now your daughter's dealing. So, you know, I don't separate my son and my daughter. So I always just argue the facts. Like, well, if has these issues, why doesn't my son have these same issues?
Yeah.
I treat them the same.
But
I don't favor one or the other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do all these things with my son and don't do anything with my daughter. I let her choose. I let him choose. I give them equal.
There's so
when
many
it comes
weird...
to like shotgun, it's like they share a shotgun.
Yeah.
You know?
Are they supposed to sit in the front seat?
Oh, yeah, they fight over it every day.
The scary part though is there's so many weird random things that are completely out. Like you can parent and you're being great with it and involved, but then with today's social media is an issue too. Like kids seeing that are being bullied or thinking they have to live up to certain things, especially young girls.
She's been bullied at school.
So that's a tough one. My daughter went through that too, and she got through it, and we talked about it the other day, just in my opinion, with her confidence with sports and how we kind of raise her. Like, but it's insane how girls are treating other girls, because my daughter dealt with, like, there were these girls telling other girls, don't play with Sophia. Yeah. Don't go around her. We're not going to be your friend. Yep. And like, that's tough for little girls, and especially with social media too. Yeah. Like that stuff's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's tough as a parent, because you don't, you know, you're like, your heart breaks for them, but you know, they have to kind of go through it. They have to walk through it, you know, like.
Although I'm knocking on someone's door if that happens.
And we've all gone through it as well.
Yeah.
I've had growing up, been bullied.
For sure.
Oh, for sure.
And been made fun of, and you know.
But it's such a weird difference though with social media again, because it's such a, like, you're trying to live up to this person that you're not even necessarily.
But it also feels really omnipresent too. It feels like it's such a constant thing in your life.
Yeah.
That's like, again, like taking yourself, getting out of it is better. Like if you knew there was a bully at school, you'd kind of go the back way or try to avoid where they know, you know, you'd be. And when you go home, you felt safe. But with social media, it's like it's there all the time.
Yeah, everyone's in your house,
and you go to check in, and you're like, oh, that person.
Try.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and
one click of a button, they're not in the door anymore.
But in your world, that's, you'll never ever meet that person, and that's what's crazy about that person though too, is like, you don't know Steve Caballero, and you're gonna call him this stuff or say these things. It's like,
I've met one
how do you know? But for your daughter,
like a troll.
Like, I met somebody I blocked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was rad. It's actually a rad experience. I was at Fremont Skate Park years ago, and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I said something rude on your page, and you blocked me, and I just want to say sorry."
Yeah.
And I said, "What's your Instagram?" And he told me. I'm like, "Okay, you're my friend again." And that's
Awesome.
all it took.
Yeah.
It took him acknowledging that he said something rude that I didn't like. He got blocked and didn't have the opportunity to speak with me or comment. And he had the courage enough to come up to me and apologize. That's what all it took.
Yeah,
For me to forgive.
Yeah, and I think that's important. Like, we need that in society to be able
For
to
sure.
forgive each other, but also be able to admit that we were wrong and apologize too.
And he did.
That's another thing that people
Yeah.
are having a hard time doing. That they can get mad and outrageous and say crazy things, but then they don't like say, "Hey, I was wrong to do that."
if
Yeah.
in fact they're wrong, I guess.
Right, I guess if they're wrong,
Yeah.
right?
But
we need
back,
to forgive, but we also need to know how to apologize.
totally. But back to your point though, is your world is so big. Yeah, you saw that dude, but your daughter's going to school with this little group of girls, maybe that are being bullies, and it's definitely harder, I think, for a kid in a smaller bubble.
That's an issue at schools. I wish they would police a little bit more, and I don't think they don't take it serious enough to where you get kids coming into school shooting up the schools, because that person that shot up everybody probably got bullied a lot and got ignored till like there's a breaking point. And that's what happens with anger. It causes you to do things that you're going to regret.
Yeah.
And even I've experienced that.
Unless you're the Hulk.
The Hulk?
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk. He's supposed to get
He
angry to
smashes
Hulk out
things,
and
and
smash.
I'm sure with Bruce
Yeah.
Banner, he's pretty bummed. Like, why'd I smash that?
Yeah, why did
I
do
gotta
that?
buy more beakers. Yeah.
More beakers.
Hulk don't care.
Is that what
Bruce
they're
Banner
called?
is
Yeah. He's
empathetic.
always in
Yeah.
regret at the end of every
Yeah.
episode.
Like, what did I do? Now my pants are ripped.
Now I gotta get my backpack and leave to another
Yeah.
town.
Buy some new purple pants. Yeah.
Well, you were gonna say.
I'm sorry.
You were saying something good.
Anger. Yes.
Anger.
It causes us to do things that aren't correct, and it makes us act different,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that we need to learn how to control. Actually, I even went to anger management classes because my ex-wife said I needed them, so I took them, and I learned a lot. I actually enjoyed the class because it really showed me why other people get angry and how people express it. And people express it in different ways. One is like physical.
Yeah.
One is like a lot of comedians are very angry people because they're sarcastic. And it's a way to express their anger. And then some are just silent and retreat.
Those are the ones you got to watch.
Yeah, those are the ones that they keep stewing.
Yeah, keep it inside.
And it causes depression and all that. And some are verbal when they release their anger, but it just people like, it's not, people always want to blame like the situation, but it's how you react to the situation. Because
that makes it better or worse, right?
Yeah.
It makes it, well, it
That's going to
determines
set the
outcome.
tone of what's going to happen
Exactly.
next. Yeah.
Like, you can have two people and the same incident happen, and one's going to react differently than the other.
Yep.
Is it the incident or is it the person?
Yep.
That's where anger comes from, and what's justified anger, and that's when you got to determine, which route you want to go, how you want to accept that expression of like how that made you feel. Like, anger is an honest, true feeling. Like, God didn't create us not to get angry. It's just a part of an emotion that makes us human, but it's how you express the anger is the problem.
Yeah.
And you got to learn how to control it and express it in a positive way, not a negative way. And then people are like angry. Well, I'm angry because you're not angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should
Like,
be more angry.
You should be more angry because that makes me angry.
But they don't know that you're not angry. It's just in their opinion
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
just
angry.
the way that we
Yeah.
express
Their
it.
opinions.
Hey, you're
They're
right.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, anger is just an emotion that it's normal. It's a
Yeah.
normal thing.
Yeah.
How'd we get there?
No, that was good.
Yeah, totally.
That's totally
Yeah.
good. And
So,
it's important to let your kids know about these emotions and understand their feelings. And
Yeah.
that's part of one of the things that Mr. Rogers was really good at, is like helping kids understand their emotions.
Right.
Like,
I loved Mr. Rogers.
So
that was
good.
a great show. I loved watching him because he was always so calm
Yep.
and collective.
So was
But he-
my friend
Always
Dalton.
so calm and collected.
He was really calm as well in his
You're
job.
talking about
Yeah,
Roadhouse?
Roadhouse again, sorry.
Okay. but like he would even talk about anger sometimes in his show, like what would make him angry. And he said, when I get mad, I just go play the piano. That's how he got really good at playing the piano.
So he was always angry.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was-
Like even like with skating, sometimes anger helped people like make tricks, learn
Motivation,
tricks,
yeah.
motivated. Oh, okay, I'm gonna make this.
Yeah.
Until-
Yeah.
And then the anger goes away once you make it.
Right.
But you start keep getting shinners and
Yeah,
rolling
get
your hair.
hurt.
It
Yeah.
pisses you off. Like
Your
man,
11-foot
really?
air motivation was Christian on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very angry.
He was
Yeah.
mad.
He needed to express it a
still
little
angry.
differently.
He got healed quick. He healed himself quick after that. That's true.
Oh.
That's true.
Tony Magnuson beat me at 12 feet, so
at that
At that?
contest?
not that.
No,
contest.
yeah, you held that
At a
11
different-
for a long time. Was
Yeah.
it the Vision
So
skate
Vision
escape
was
thing?
Christian, 10 foot.
Oh, okay.
I got 11 foot, and then I think somewhere Tony Mag got 12.
Ah.
Am I Cedar Crest maybe or somewhere, some big ramp somewhere?
Yeah, but he's not
What's
that
the
fun to
record?
look at.
What's the
Cab.
record
He's-
on a
He
non-monster
didn't have
ramp?
the style of you and Christian, all right? So I'm not counting that 12-foot air.
Tony Mag's a nice guy.
I'm
He
sure
is.
he's sweet. I'm sure he's sweet.
I don't know him.
But does he own a pair of suspenders?
I don't think so. He doesn't have his own
Yeah.
shoes either.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So
Did he ever wear spandex?
He owned
like
a shoe
Christian?
company.
he did, but
Osiris, yeah.
yeah, but no
That's
one.
better than having your own signature shoe,
Kind
no?
of.
I don't think so,
No?
Cab.
Is Osiris still in business?
No.
Is- Are
Okay,
Osiris
maybe
shoes ugly?
Maybe not.
Yes. Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah, no offense.
Just
Osiris
as our
guys.
opinion.
Yeah. And that's,
And you're
And they
both
don't-
right.
Yeah. we're all right in this one. Yeah, there's no wrongs in this conversation at this point. Yeah.
Well, it's been amazing talking to you,
Yeah.
and there's so much more we could talk about. And
We'll have to
And
do
fan
another
out
one
on
down,
you,
go
but-
to your house and skate your ramp next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
one of these days. But
Of course.
you know,
Yeah.
of all
Thanks for
the
having
of
me.
all your all
Appreciate
your
it.
phases of cab, with the cab
Yes.
fashion phases, what was your favorite phase
My phase right now.
right now?
The cab.
I
right
like
now.
it.
So
Yeah.
2020 Cab. Okay.
2020 cab. Just, just trying to just keep pushing. And there's so much involved in what I do. There's so many avenues that I can be like drawn to.
Mhm.
Music and skating and motocross and motorcycles and hot rods and art, and I just love who I've become.
Yeah.
And my faith as well is a huge thing that drives me and makes me hopeful of like what's going on in the world that doesn't stress me out. I've learned a lot being a Christian. I've been a Christian since 2005, and it's really taught me the importance of life and what's important. And it's really got me to like be okay with loss, whether it's a loss in the family, loss of animals, loss of material things. I'm comfortable in my own skin,
Mhm.
where people attract certain things that they love, and once that gets taken away from them, it's the end of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my relationship with God helps balance that out, and that's why I'm able to just enjoy life. That what comes at me.
Yeah.
If I break my femur riding a dirt bike, I can come back. I feel I can come back.
Yeah.
If I break my ankle like 11 months later, I know it can heal. It's just not as
Yeah.
quick.
Right.
It's frustrating, but I think people see the fact that I'm still active and still doing these things, that it gives them hope. And that's where I think my role is giving people hope and encouragement that once you're 50, you can still think like you're 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have the right mindset,
You can keep having fun.
keep having fun
Yeah.
and keep enjoying
Doesn't
life.
have to stop.
You don't
Yeah.
have to stop learning about yourself, about other people, other traits, and just people they pigeonhole themselves of like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is who I always will be. This is how I was born.
Yeah.
No, there's so much opportunity out
To
there.
keep going.
Totally.
Keep
going.
progressing.
Keep changing.
Yep.
I always said I'm a very trendy person. I go with the trends. Like people don't like the word trendy. Like, oh, you're
Mhm.
so trendy. Well, that's what's sustained my whole career. Is I went with the trends. the guys that
Well, you made some
did
too.
Kind of though.
You made
You were a
some.
little ahead of it. I think you were kind of ahead of it in
not
a way.
really like
Who was wearing
so Vert's-
suspenders back then? And
who's
plaid
wearing
shorts.
them now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one.
Nobody.
Yeah, but you've evolved from that. You've
Yeah.
evolved
No, but
from
like
that.
let's say
You
with-
still got cargo shorts on?
I do.
Right?
Yeah, that's classic.
Red Dragons.
Yeah.
Those are
See?
classic.
No, but like when it comes to like let's say like vert skating in the 80s,
Yeah.
it died come 90.
Yeah.
True.
The guys that couldn't make that transition to like mini ramp or street, they were done.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? Yeah, so I just trended over to what was
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
The half cab would have never. I'm not wearing them, by the way.
Well,
you got
like I
Vans.
said
I'm wearing
earlier,
Vans.
these are skate shoes and these are not. He's
Those
not
are Ultra
skateboarding.
Rangers.
These
Those
are
are
ultra range
those are
chilling
fantastic.
shoes. I
Okay.
chill in these.
Those are so
And
good.
we're
See
chilling
how cool I
technically,
am?
yeah.
Yeah.
You're very cool.
I'm chilling.
Ultra
Yes.
Ranges are nice.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly in here.
Vans.
Vans, now you got to pay us a little bit of money. We
Yeah.
talked about it here, so give us something.
Write us a check, Jamie or Regan or whoever's writing checks.
No, but like the half cab. I mean, I saw the trend of the guys cutting my shoe in half, my first signature shoe.
Right.
So I could have fought and been like, "That's the lamest thing ever." But I started cutting it, started being trendy.
I used to cut Vision streetwears. Yeah.
Oh, you
like
did?
Down to mids, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that was the trend. So after like cutting like 2 or 3 pairs down, I'm like, what? I ride for a company that makes shoes.
Let's
Yeah.
just
Like
cut them. Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah,
can we just
exactly.
cut
Hey,
these
Steve.
shoes down and call them half cabs.
Oh,
like
there
that'd
it
be kind of cool.
is.
And then like I can have a picture of me doing a half cab, like the Air Jordan. Like, you know, I think it's a great idea, and they went with it.
Yeah.
So that all happened because of a trend that I fell into. That I was like, I'm going with it, and the shoe is still on the market today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so the trends, and I've gone through a lot of music trends too. I haven't played all the same type of music my whole life. I've gone a different where what's popular at the time. That I've gone, you know, that route. Just experience.
So your new group is a hip hop group.
It is not.
Mumble rap.
No.
Yeah.
Actually,
Where's your face tattoos,
Steve,
Steve?
Actually, when the
Caballero.
hip hop thing came out in the '90s, I was still strictly really into punk rock. Still.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird when you go punk, you don't go.
It's hard to go the
It's
other
hard
way.
to go the other
Yeah.
way.
Because it's kind of a little bit of a
It's-
diametric.
Yeah, it's
So
like
you
one
didn't
of those
dabble
things-
any
Yeah.
Morrissey or anything? Is that what we're saying?
I listen to Morrissey.
Okay,
Sure.
so you were
Yeah,
outside of
it's-
it a little. Yeah.
Odd Man Out. I had the record. I have the record. That was
No, but
good.
when you're in your punk phase,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
it's
Yeah.
when you're in the phase.
That's
then I
okay.
trended
I
out.
get you.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When I was in the phase.
Yeah.
those,
Nothing else.
all those
mattered.
hair band rocker. No.
What do you got against Bon Jovi?
Jeez.
Hey, they're still living on a prayer in
But
my heart.
They are.
I got out of the phase.
But yeah, that's
you
true.
know, and started Odd Man Out. You know, whole completely different
Yeah.
band.
Which
in
I
the
like
late
that
80s.
record. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good record. We just re-released it and listening to those old songs. I'm like, well, those were pretty cool songs back in the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Any other bands? So are you still doing Faction or are you doing something else
We
now?
just ended the Faction. We're not doing those shows anymore.
Mhm.
We did our last, you know, gigs. I'm starting a new band down here in San Diego, so hopefully we've been jamming together. We got about 10 songs, no singer. That's the next step.
You want a drawn-on mustache? And a little...
Hey now.
We don't wear masks.
You're out.
There's a reason.
I
wear
have
Yeah.
one though. I
Yeah.
have Aquabats
Yeah.
mask
Yeah.
because
You're
of
out.
this guy.
Yeah.
But
What's
no,
the guy from Creed doing?
We wore half
What's
caps
the
on
Creed guy
TV
doing
show,
nowadays,
Too, by the way.
the
Christian?
black ones.
Well, Scott Stapp from
Yeah,
Street
you
Creed?
should hit him
I
up.
don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I just got a email from a guy that's local,
Uh-huh.
and he sent me a demo of what he does, and great singer.
Yeah.
So
He's
we'll
no
see.
Steve
We're gonna
Perry.
record at Elliot Sloan's. He's got a little studio.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna record maybe 2 or 3 songs there, and then just put it out and have people audition, because I really feel like a singer makes or breaks a band.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to settle.
Neither did Journey.
Yeah,
That's right.
don't
Yeah.
want to settle, because it's just a waste of time if you settle.
Yep.
You know, so I want the singer to be good.
That's why I don't listen to the Van Hagar era.
You can't. It's Diamond Dave or nobody. Man.
Yeah, come on, Sammy.
Yeah, and I care about my projects. Like when I go into something, I really want it to be successful.
Yeah.
I'll put my heart into it. You know, so this band that we're doing, we've been practicing and making songs, and it's coming together. I switched to bass now, so now I'm a bassist again.
Back on bass.
Yeah, so it's like I go
Nice.
from guitar to bass, and what happened is the band. Remember Soda, the band.
Yeah,
Soda?
yeah.
So now that bass player is our guitar player.
Oh wow.
You know Matt Ramirez?
Probably,
Worked
yeah.
For Vans.
Okay, yeah.
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 Well, he was
He
our bass.
doesn't know.
He was a bass player in '95. He was my bass player for Soda.
No, because
I know
I
I'm joking.
remember Soda.
So now he is now the guitar player, and I'm the bass player.
Oh, that's funny.
And because I wanted to keep it tight. So instead of me sharing the role as a guitarist, I'm like, no, let's just keep it tight. I'll play bass. I'll get better on bass because
Yeah.
I'll be forced to learn bass lines and yeah.
That's what the Monkeys did, I hear.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Monkeys play music.
The old 70s, 60s band.
Oh,
No,
that
they
band.
didn't
That
play-
joke went.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it Sometimes you
The
win,
Monkeys
sometimes you
didn't actually
lose.
play it.
Yeah.
I think the only couple of them actually played.
I don't even
They
know.
learned how to play. They were actors, the Monkeys.
They were.
Yeah.
Beautiful
I
actors.
love that show.
Yeah.
Hey,
I tried
we're
to-
the
I-
monkeys.
Yeah.
People say we monkey around.
around.
Yeah. I tried to put that on for my kids and they didn't.
They didn't like
They
it.
didn't like
I can't imagine why.
And
they
I didn't
What
really
about
like it either anymore.
I guess you didn't like the banana splits either.
Oh, we love it. But
I
Kids
haven't
not so
showed them
much.
that. Yeah. I used to watch that when I was a kid, though.
Oh,
the
that was a
faves.
fun show.
It's good times.
That's fun. Well, I mean, we love the example you're setting for us as dads and
Yeah.
through Instagram.
Yeah,
and
keep it up.
keep it up and skating
you.
with the kids and you and
Still not doing it right. I still get people saying, "Hey, you're not
You're doing it right.
right."
what?
You're doing it right,
Dude,
Steve.
Who would
I
say you're not doing it
Posted
right?
okay, everyone always asks me about the ingredients of the salad, and like I'm like, just follow
You
the
can't
hashtag.
give that out.
Follow- no, but I
Colonel
follow the hashtag.
Sanders didn't.
Follow the hashtag,
Yeah.
and then I post the ingredients are like too much plastic.
Too much
I'm like-
plastic.
Oh yeah, I'm like, dude, I just went to Vaughn's and that's how it came, like. So I'm
Yeah.
still not doing it right.
Right.
I'm not shopping right.
I think you are. Dolphins love plastic. Seriously. Turtles, too. They love playing in that
I will
stuff.
learn how to shop.
Yeah.
Someday.
You'll be fine.
That's
You're going to
so
be fine.
weird.
You're doing
Someday.
great.
I'm
You're
trying to
doing great.
save the world, but it takes more than a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one cab salad at a time.
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
exactly.
People
Yeah.
would like call you out for having
Oh,
too
yeah.
much
Go
plastic.
look on one of my last posts.
Yeah.
People.
What's up with all the plastic, bro?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I can't say
Yeah,
anything
what's
about you.
plastic?
You're private.
Yeah,
I'm
with
melting-
zero
I'm
posts.
melting it down.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
Anyways, thank
I'm
you.
gonna make tires
Yeah, yeah.
out of it.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Nah,
This was
thanks,
fun.
Steve. That was awesome, and big fans. Welcome to World's Best Dad
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
We want to thank our sponsors, Igloo
yeah.
Coolers.
We have gifts. We have gifts.
We have some gifts for you.
We got some stuff over there.
Yeah,
Are you
Igloo
serious?
Coolers has this special gift for
No.
you.
Inside.
Why, Mike?
And there's stuff inside.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's right.
This is so cute.
Oh yeah.
Let me see that real quick.
This
We're
is
not taking it back.
amazing.
Yeah.
So we have a couple
What?
of things in there for you. as
World's
well.
Best Dad hat.
Yes.
You can
Thank
We
you.
can trade out the color. if
wear
you don't
it or
like
throw it
I
away.
like it. No,
Also,
it's very
a drink koozie.
Yeah.
America.
It's like a
That's what That's why
It's
we.
very
it's like
American.
a jacuzzi, but it's a drink koozie.
Heyo. Yeah.
there you
Got a
go.
warm thing.
Thank you.
Put
That's
stuff
for
in
you.
there.
It's
We
great
also
for the
have-
beach.
We also
When I
have
take
some,
my kids to the
some fun
beach.
coffees from our friends at Humble Maker.
If you're a
Room.
coffee fan,
I
Organic,
love
are
coffee
cool.
in the morning.
Organic. They're like little
Wow, this
cold
cup-
shots.
He's heavy.
These are
Humble Maker.
all sorts
Yep.
of fun.
So
And teas too.
plenty of gifts.
They're all coffees. They're all different flavors.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out. And we want to again thank Steve Caballero,
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
living legend,
living legend.
living legend.
Living legend.
So
right here
come
on
on,
the
I know
couch.
that's weird for us to say, but
yeah.
it's totally
Earmuffs, Steve.
I
Earmuffs.
appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks
true.
again.
Thanks,
All right.
man.
Appreciate you. Peace.
Yeah.